everyone. It's Sunday, June 14th, and I have some exciting news. The church is reopening June 28th, 2020. I'm so excited to be able to announce that today, that in 2 weeks we will be having church in the sanctuary. Listen, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I need to tell you about. There's some signage that we're going to be using. You can see here our new best friends. We'll be using Lysol, hand sanitizer, Clorox wipes, and face mask. Some of them will be, if you don't have a face mask, we have a few disposable ones available. Some people have homemade face masks. I meant to bring mine. Oh, it's in my purse. Hang on. I want you to know your pastor goes everywhere trying to protect herself with her homemade face mask. So there will be some of these homemade face masks as well as disposable. Now, let's get to it. I have a thank you note to read to the church. It says, "Thank you. I will never forget your kindness. Many thanks to all our friends at Hughes United Methodist Church for all the prayers and concern. The replacement of the aortic heart valve was a success. Thanks again for your kindness and your prayers. Love to all, Nancy and Pat." I don't know if any of you have seen Pat since he had his surgery, but he did come through it like a trooper. You wouldn't know that anything was ever wrong. We'll have a short devotion. Don't, cut off the video because you don't really want to hear anything about COVID, because I've got to go through these recommendations first, but we will have a message this morning. So we're going to be opening the church on June 28th. The sanctuary and fellowship hall will be cleaned and sanitized prior to the reopening. And it'll be completed the week before we come, so it'll be nice and fresh. We will have the cleaning crew will come in each week to sanitize after we have had service. Mary Ann has agreed to add an additional step beyond just cleaning, but also the sanitizing of the sanctuary. Now what will happen is on Sunday after church, after Miss Joe and her helper get the tithe and attendance envelope situated, Donna or I will come through with the Lysol spray, or in this case the Great Value, which is what we could find, and we will spray the sanctuary and then we'll lock it down. Wednesday, Mary Ann will come. She will sanitize the pew. She will sanitize the doorknobs, the door facings. Everything that somebody touched will be sanitized prior to us coming back. Masks will have to be worn by everybody during the service except me. Now, that's because they said that y'all couldn't hear the preaching good if the pastor had the mask on. So we will be asking everyone to keep the mask on throughout the service. And one of the things right now that we won't be able to do, according to the bishop and the governor's guidelines, is have a choir. And so we will be having congregationals, and we're going to ask that you sit in the same place every week, so that way what will happen, we won't have to heavy duty sanitize the hymnals and the pew Bibles. We don't want to get those messed up. And so in an effort to just be able to lightly sanitize them, knowing that the same people are going to be the ones that use them over and over while we still contend with COVID-19, that's why we're going to, in essence, have assigned seating. Now, we're asking that you wear your mask while you sing. Mary Elizabeth said she don't know that that's going to work, but we'll see. It's called making a joyful noise for a reason. The pews have been marked in 6-foot increments. It really just means that the pews are half. They're 12 foot long, so there's a piece of blue painter's tape in the middle of the pews that we will be using. Now, only every other pew will have people sitting at it, and the opposite pews will be used on the other side. So there's some pictures that'll kind of explain that. It's a little confusing when I just say it. And so the attendance and tithing envelopes will be in the pews, but they will also be mailed to you prior to coming back to church. Now the reason for this is twofold. We're not allowed to pass the offering plates, and we are required to keep attendance of who attends each Sunday. In the event that there's an exposure, we have to be able to contact people. And so we have to know who was here each and every week. And so in order to kill two birds with one stone, if you will, we have made up an attendance and tithe and offering envelope where you can just either write your information, stick your check in the envelope, your cash, whatever, and drop it in the offering plate that is in the foyer of the church. So you can either drop it in on your way in, if you filled it out at home and brought it with you, or there will be tithes and offering and attendance envelopes in the pew where you will be sitting. So we will need that to happen that way, at least initially. The treasurer and her helper, not one person counts the money, there's always two. And so she'll have gloves, we're providing those for her. And if there's anyone else that would like gloves, you can wear gloves in the church as well. You don't have to, but if you see the box of gloves sitting here, it's predominantly for Joe and her helper, and unless you want them, and then you can. The videos will still be available to anyone that doesn't feel comfortable returning yet, and to anyone that might still not be feeling well from some other. We've not had any notifications that anyone in the congregation had COVID-19. But we do know that some people have some other ailments because life goes on in the middle of a pandemic. And so for those that might not be able to make it to service or aren't quite comfortable coming back yet, the video of the preaching each Sunday will still be online, but it'll be online after the Sunday morning service. It'll be taped live and then put up after the service. We've got signs that are going to be posted directing attendees to designated entrances and exits, hand sanitizer stations, mask locations. You're going to see some pictures. There's one that says stop. If you are not feeling well, if you have not felt well in the past 2 weeks, if you have had a fever in the last 2 weeks, if you are sneezing or coughing, please go home. We love you and will miss you, but we all need to be extra careful with each other right now. So thank you for understanding. So if you're not feeling well, please stay home. We're only going to be using 2 entrances. We're going to be using the big double doors at the front, and we're going to be staggering how people come in to keep from creating clusters of people in any area of the church. We're going to ask you to get to church just a few minutes ahead of time. Instead of maybe 20 or 30 minutes ahead of time, we're still going to be practicing social distancing, so we're going to ask that you get here on time. We will be using the elevator entrance for those who need to utilize that. So those will be the 2 entrances and exits that are open, at least initially, while we're in phase 2 of rolling out COVID relaunch. Here's another sign. I'm sorry, and this is a sign you're going to see asking that you please enter and exit through those 2 doors. Here's another sign you're going to see. Mask on, hand sanitized, welcome. So nice to see you. Please do not shake hands, hug, or otherwise come into with anyone else. That goes doubly for me. And I really hate that. I was talking to my general practitioner last week, and he said, "Now, Stacie, you have to be extra careful. Do not hug people. I know people are going to want to hug you. I know that your congregation has been missing you, but the two least likely people in your congregation to hug one another will have in fact hugged one another if you hug both of them." So I got tickled. He's kind of a straight shooter like that. So please do not be offended. Please do not take it personally. I will not be hugging. I will not be shaking hands. We're trying to get this back together and do all that we can do to ease back into this thing, to make sure that everybody, out of respect and love for one another, that we do this right. The bulletins will be placed in the pews where people are going to sit, for the same reason that we're asking people to come on time and stagger coming into the church. We don't want to create a common touch area. We don't want people reaching in the same area, touching multiple things. So we will be putting the bulletins in the pews. They'll be sitting there waiting for you when you get there. And y'all, in your bulletin this week, you got a copy of all this stuff I'm reading off. And so read it for yourself. And look, if you think of something that I hadn't thought of, please tell me. If there's something that you're uncomfortable with or something that you would like, additionally, we certainly can talk about that. So read over those when you get it and see what you think, and get ready. Get your mask ready, get your Sunday clothes ready, because in 2 weeks we'll be here together with all of our new friends. Now listen, I do have a little bit of a sermon this morning. Mary Elizabeth isn't with us today because it was just going to be short and it was going over a lot of housekeeping stuff. And so I'm just going to kind of jump right in. This devotion reflects where we are right now, y'all. And I can tell you, I wish COVID-19 had never happened, but it did. And that we could just go back to the way things were before, but we can't. We can't erase what has happened the last 10 or 12 weeks. And so today I'm going to talk for just a minute about the marks of the true Christian. We're going to Romans 12, 9 through 11. Let love be genuine, hate what is evil, hold fast to what is good, love one another with mutual affection, outdo one another in showing honor. Do not lag in zeal, be ardent in spirit, serve the Lord. As we begin to gather together again, we must think about why and how we're doing certain things. These scriptures remind us that while we may be healthy and while we may be well able to even withstand a round of COVID, that's not the case for everybody. And so everyone in our congregation is not able to withstand that, and therefore we must adhere to the guidelines as if we care more about their safety than we care about our liberty. Now that's got to sound a little familiar right now. There's so many other things going on in our country right now, and our liberty should never encroach upon someone else's abilities. So here we are, and we're saying, love, be genuine. Outdo one another in showing honor. We honor one another by doing what is best for the most vulnerable among us. And so as we look around and as we see our older friends in the congregation, our higher risk friends in the congregation, our neighbors, our family, we must honor and show them love genuine love, by doing all we can to protect them. You know, I read an article that every day the UMC sends me a update on COVID, and Friday there was 731 new cases of COVID in Arkansas. But here's the thing, you know, what they're saying now is that it is not casual contact, that it is within communities and families that the COVID is spreading now. That's what's given the spike. And so please, let's consider our church family as we come back. 1 Timothy 5:21 tells us to treat everyone the same, showing no respect or partiality for any particular person. And so it says, I charge thee before God and the Lord Jesus Christ and the elect angels that thou observe these things without preferring one before another. Do nothing by partiality. You know, none of us would ask for partiality or special treatment, and that is precisely why we have to take it upon ourselves to recognize the steps we need to do to keep everybody safe, inside the church and outside the church. You know, I know that you're all with me on this desire for safety within our church community and within where we live in our communities. I love you all, and I'm looking forward to seeing you June 28th in person. If you're comfortable with returning to worship with us, please know that we're going to still provide the best care that we can. We're still going to have great services. They're still going to be online for those that are not comfortable coming back, or even those that are watching that can't come at all. I love y'all. I'm still praying for you. I'm still thinking about you. And I know that big and great things are coming for all of us. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. God bless you.